Welcome to the DIY3DTech.com channel.
Welcome to this edition of DIY3DTech.com. In this episode today, being Valentine's Day, we're going to make something that's a little bit appropriate for the holiday, and that's a card holder. This episode's actually been prompted a little bit by Joel Telling, the 3D printing nerd. He did some interesting stuff I seen in his video today, and it just kind of grabbed me that wouldn't it be nice to have a card holder? My wife was gracious enough to get me a beautiful card, and one of the things I'd like to do is display that. But you know, you can always just stand the card up, etc. However, I thought, wouldn't it be nice to have some sort of stand for the card? So I decided to make a simple stand and figured I would share that because I think other folks might be interested in it. So here we are in TinkerCad, and we're going to get started. This is actually going to be quick and rather dirty. Building a stand. However, I think again the basics of this can be used for other things. So one of the things my card, and most cards are typically around 125 millimeters wide. So we're going to start off with a circle, and we're going to make it basically 125 millimeters in diameter. Yep, I got that right. And then I'm going to make it about 25, so approximately an inch thick. And so this is going to be the basis of my stand. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this. And so now we have two of these. And instead of 125, I am going to make this 123 and 123 again. And I'm going to make that a hole. And instead of 25, I'm going to make it 30. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to be real quick about this. I'm going to highlight it, hit align, and then boom, hit the align in that direction, align in this direction, and we are now aligned. So you can start to see a little bit where I'm going. So I'm going to push this down a little bit so it's poking through both sides. And then I'm going to select this and I'm going to group it. Alright, so now I've got my circle, and so now I want to cut this in half. So again, I'm going to take a cube, and in this case I'm going to go 130 to make it a little bit, and then I'm going a little bit bigger than the circle, then I'm going to go 62.5, and then I'm going to go 30 again, just so I cut it through. And I'm going to make it a block, and then I'm going to use one of my favorite tools again, and that's Align. Align is a fantastic tool in TinkerCAD, and so I'm going to align bottom, and then so you can see this will basically cut off, not basically, it will. I have to stop using that word basically. I overuse it way too much. That's one of the things making these videos has done is help me figure out keywords I focus on a little bit too much. So I'm going to group this, and boom, we've now cut our our circle in half. Excuse me for that. We have a nice little arc. So now what we have to do is I'm not going to have it go all the way through. So I'm going to set this to about 80. So I'm going to make this about 80 millimeters wide. I'm going to make this approximately 50 millimeters tall. Again, sorry for the cough, got something stuck in my throat. In the card, I've measured it with calipers, and it seems like general space about 2 millimeters. Is good. I'm going to turn this into a hole, and then I'm just going to bring this over here, and again, use our favorite tool, the align. So I'm going to center this there, and I'm going to center this here. I want to bump out my thing, and so basically I use that word again. See, I way overuse that word. In short, I am going to, I can now cut a hole. Now, here's where you can change it because, one of the things we could do is go from 80, say we could go 110. Now, this is going to control how far that the card will sit into the stand. And so, again, we just do our favorite, and we just move everything over. And I'm just going to pull this down a little bit more, so because what I want to do is make sure I'm cutting all the way through the stand. So now I have this, and then I just group it, and we're pretty much done. So the interesting part here is you can kind of see that this can be also the basis for several other things. We could duplicate this and stack this together to kind of make a holder to hold several different things. Actually, I'm going to probably make a modified version of this to hold a CD case too. Eventually, my wife has some kind of collector CDs from events we've been to, and she'd like to display them, and this might also work well for that. However, we're just going to focus on this for the time being. So let's just go up here. We're going to give it a name just so I know what it is. Card holder. And we're going to make it public because I'll publish the link and save changes. Alright, so I'm going to print this in red ABS on the DaVinci because I've got red already in there. So let's go ahead, let's send this to the printer and see what we got. I'm not going to do a time lapse. The DaVinci's are a pain to do time lapses because it gets dark and it's got the close thing. So I'm going to print this and then we'll come back and see how it all worked. So we printed out this card holder in ABS on the DaVinci, and so it came out pretty good, except for I've been doing so much work in PLA lately, I forgot about how much I sort of dislike ABS, and so we do have some warping on the edges because of how thin this is in the banding. However, you get the idea here. It does stand up nice, and again, I think if printed out of PLA or something a little bit more sturdier than this ABS or more rigid, would come out better. However, I think as you see, it comes out very nice. It serves the purpose. The card sits in there in portrait mode, and again, you could turn it if you have a landscape card also and stick it in there, and again, it sits it up off the table. So all in all, I'm pretty happy with this. And again, the real gist of this is Joe Tellingoff, the 3D printing nerd, got me thinking. He made those interesting things for his kids and his wife, and well, what if you had a stand to put them on? And so kind of inspired me to do this. I got this card from my lovely wife, so very happy about it. Apparently she still likes me after 30 years of marriage, so that's always a good thing. I do think I'm going to reprint this. Probably I've got some clear P-tag or PETG material, sorry. I think I'm going to print it out, and I think it'll look nicer than that, and fix the warp, so I don't get the warping down here. So I may throw up a picture on the website. However, all in all, pretty good. And I'll put the link below. I may even toss this up on TinkerCad, if you will, if you're interested in printing this for the card you got from your loved one, or remixing it or doing something. So again, just neat, simple project. I kind of wanted to show what you can do in TinkerCad just real quick to whip up something that's both functional and neat. So anyways, hey, if this video helped you out, if you found it interesting, give it a thumbs up. You didn't find it interesting, you didn't like it, hey, give it a thumbs up. Like your mother said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, give it a thumbs up anyway. And so just click that button down below, and hey, we'll see you in the next video. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe. Cheers.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.